Montessori mathematics is not just about numbers. It's about nurturing the child's mathematical mind. Through hands-on materials, children don't simply memorize facts. They discover patterns, relationships, and the truths for themselves. These early experiences support a profound understanding of abstract concepts by first engaging the body and then the senses. Montessori's purpose is to bring joy, clarity, and confidence to the study of math. Precision, order, and movement guide each child's journey. With every bead counted and every symbol matched, the child builds not only arithmetic skills, but concentration, independence, and a genuine love of learning. Montessori is intentional in every detail, from the size of the furniture to the way we greet the child. But perhaps nowhere is this intentionality more evident than in mathematics. This area shines as a masterpiece of purposeful design. Rather than abstract symbols on paper, Montessori mathematics begin with materials that embody quantity, inviting the child to see, touch, and internalize this mathematical concept. It's a carefully sequenced journey from the concrete to the abstract, crafted to respect the child's development and natural love for precision and pattern. Math isn't tucked into a workbook. It lives in their hands, their movements, and their discoveries. Through these materials, children don't just learn math, they build a relationship with it, one that is rooted in clarity, joy, and empowerment. This is Montessori mathematics, an elegant, child-centered invitation to explore, understand, and delight in the language of numbers. Dr. Montessori observed that young children have a mathematical mind, a deep, unconscious drive towards order, precision, and logical thinking. It's not that we teach them to be mathematical. Rather, we reveal and support what's already there. First, she identified sensitive periods for exactness, those windows of time when a child is especially drawn to precise outcomes. You might see this when a child insists every puzzle piece is perfectly flush or lines up objects in a just so manner. It's not perfectionism, it's the mind craving clarity and consistency. Second, she noted the child's natural attraction to order and pattern. The consistent layout of Montessori materials isn't just aesthetics. It nurtures this inner desire. Materials like the number rods or red rods appeal to this inclination. They move in consistent increments, helping the child internalize regularity without being told to. And third, we see the roots of mathematical thinking in early sensorial and practical life work. When a child pours water between matching pitchers or grades cylinders from largest to smallest, they're not doing math in a traditional sense, but they are training the very muscles of logical reasoning, sequencing, and comparison. These experiences lay the foundation for everything that follows, not just in math, but in how the child organizes their world. Montessori mathematics is distinguished by its intentional design and deep respect for the child's developmental process. As I've said before, at the heart of this approach are the didactic materials, carefully created tools that embody mathematical concepts in tangible, graspable form. Each one is crafted with a control of error, allowing the child to self-correct and build confidence through independent discovery. We always move from the concrete to the abstract. A child's first experience with quantity is with their hands, feeling the length of a number rod or the weight of a unit bead before being asked to work with a symbol. This progression honors the child's internal timeline and paves the way for true conceptual understanding. Montessori math is also deeply connected to their prior experience. The order, precision, and movement found in practical life and sensorial lay a subconscious foundation for quantity, sequencing, and classification. Math doesn't arrive out of nowhere. It arises from patterns already established in the child's body and mind. It isolates one specific difficulty, allowing the child to focus without overwhelm, and every concept unfolds in a sequential progression, step by step, layer by layer, so that nothing is introduced prematurely and mastery builds organically. I remember watching a 3-year-old named Leo carefully working with the number rods. He tapped each rod gently, counting aloud, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. When he finished, he stepped back and said quietly, "It's like a staircase." That small moment held so much power, order, joy, and discovery coming together through movement and repetition. In that single activity, Leo was internalizing quantity before symbol, his fingers and voice confirming what his eyes saw, that 3 is longer than 2, and 5 follows 4. Each tap was an act of one-to-one correspondence, each whispered number reinforcing cardinality, that 4 is not just the name of the last rod, it is the whole set. The same foundation blossoms years later when an older child works with a long 1,000 chain, kneeling beside a gleaming cascade of golden beads stretching across the room. They count 1, 2, 3, all the way to 1,000. At every 10 bar, they place a label. Every 100, they pause. This is not just a counting exercise, it's an unfolding of magnitude, place value, rhythm, and of course patience. And the child is captivated. This is Montessori math, where number sense begins with tactile, meaningful experiences and develops into abstract understanding through deeply satisfying work. From Leo's 10 red rods to another child's long golden chain, the thread is curiosity and it's made visible. It's a journey, not towards an answer, but towards understanding. The four mathematical operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, are not abstract formulas to memorize. They are experiences the child can see, feel, and understand deeply, especially through the use of the golden bead material. Addition is experienced as joining together. Children combine quantities from different trays, watching as they become one unified whole. It's the joyful realization when we put things together, the amount grows. Subtraction is taking away. A child begins with a whole quantity, let's say 10, and physically removes part of it. They see and feel what remains, anchoring the idea of differences through action. 10, take away 2, leaves 8. Multiplication becomes adding a certain number of times. For example, placing 3 trays with 5 unit beads, each shows that multiplication is repeated addition, clear, orderly, and satisfying. Division is sharing equally. Imagine a group of children dividing 13 apples among 4 people. They each receive 3 apples and 1 is left over. The final apple sits in the center, tangible and visible, and often becomes the start of a conversation. What can we do with the extra? That's the moment the idea of a remainder takes root, not just in the mind, but in the hand and the heart. These activities are often done in small groups, where each child takes on a role, counting units, exchanging tens, and recording the equation. This fosters cooperation and strengthens understanding, because they are not just following, they are contributing. When children witness the material physical demonstration, they see each process. The math isn't just taught, it's understood in a way that stays with them for life. Abstraction is not rushed. It emerges naturally and individually through layers of concrete experience. The child begins with a golden bead material, physically exchanging 10 units for one 10 bar, holding 100 squares, carrying 1,000 cubes. This material roots place value and operations in the hand and eye long before it lives on paper. When the child is ready, we introduce the stamp game. It's familiar in function, but more symbolic in appearance, a gentle step away from the concrete. Now units are small green tiles, tens are blue, and the work looks more like what we might recognize as math. Next comes the bead frame, bridging movement and symbol. The child slides beads along a wire, internalizing place value while preparing the eye for horizontal alignment, a skill essential for abstract computation. Then there's the dot game, a magical moment. Colored dots and black symbols meet on the page. Abstract representation and visual memory fuse as the child records their thinking with growing independence. Finally, we arrive at paper equations, written math. But this is never rushed. There's no arbitrary timeline. The child transitions when their understanding is rooted, when abstraction arises not from pressure, but from joy. This is the Montessori passage to abstraction, not a sprint, but a gentle unfolding, where mastery is revealed in spontaneous exploration and self-chosen repetition. The assistant plays a quiet yet powerful role, like the steady rhythm beneath a beautiful melody. While the guide leads the child towards lessons and key discoveries, the assistant ensures the environment remains calm, orderly, and alive with possibility. The first responsibility is to support the child's independence without interference. That means allowing time for effort, space for mistakes, and trust in the child's process. I remember watching a young assistant named Maya as a child struggled to return a number rod to the shelf. Instead of stepping in, Maya simply knelt nearby and adjusted another material, quietly present but uninvolved. After a few careful attempts, the child completed the task, and the look of pride in her face was everything. That restraint from the assistant teacher gave the child something far greater than help. It gave her confidence. The assistant also prepares and cares for the environment with consistency, organizing the golden beads, returning trays to their exact spot, straightening a cloth just so. This isn't about perfection, it's about communicating to the child. You matter. Your work matters. This consistency invites focus, order, and respect. When a child can find what they need, they act with freedom, whether they're retrieving an add-in or arranging counters in pursuit of a sum. Finally, the assistant must observe and reinforce mathematical language with intention. When a child counts, we echo, "Yes, you placed 6 counters. 6 is an even number." When they multiply equal groups with the stamp game, we might note, "Here you discovered the product when 3 is the multiplier." When they finish the long chain, we marvel with them. "You counted all the way to 1,000. These moments deepen learning, not through correction, but through affirmation. Ultimately, the assistant is the steward of the invisible patience, order, and quiet encouragement. Their grace gives the child space to explore and grow, and on their own terms, simply providing time for them to understand the mathematical concepts they are exploring. Math isn't just a subject, it's a path to self-confidence. When children work with their hands, follow their curiosity, and arrive at understanding through discovery, they begin to trust their own minds. We celebrate mistakes as opportunities, not failures. When a child miscounts or misplaces a numeral, we don't rush to correct. We observe, we wait, and we trust that with repetition and guidance of the materials, clarity will come. These moments teach resilience. I can figure it out. I can try again. Let's look at this as mistakes are opportunities to dive in deeper and think through the concept. This is the joy of Montessori mathematics. Precision without pressure. The materials themselves are so intentional, so beautiful, that they invite exploration. A well-prepared golden bead tray, a perfectly labeled stamp game, a fresh sheet for the dot game. Each one says, "This work is worthy, and so are you." And that's the secret joy. It doesn't just add up, it's built into the design. Math becomes not only a tool for understanding the world, but a mirror for the child's emerging confidence, competence, and love of learning. Thank you for taking this journey through the rich and beautiful world of Montessori mathematics. From golden beads to dot games, from spontaneous discovery to joyful abstraction, you've seen how math in this environment becomes so much more than numbers. It becomes a language of the child's mind. And at the heart of all is you, the Montessori assistant. Your role, though often quiet, is foundational. You are the protector of order, the keeper of rhythm, and the one who notices the small victories. A child counting with confidence, returning materials with care, or whispering, "I did it," after a morning of focused work. The Montessori method is not a system to be imposed. It is a response to the unique unfolding of each individual child. Through intentional materials, respect for development, and the grace of the adult who prepares the space, each child is free to grow, explore, and build inner confidence at their own pace. So as you step into your classroom, carry this with you. Every bead you return, every moment you wait instead of rush, every gentle word you offer, these are the acts that open the world of mathematics to the child. And through your presence, you help them write their own story of understanding, joy, and self-belief. Thank you for your attention, your intention, and for all you do to nurture the mind and spirit of the child.